We're Jamaicans. The story here is that we did some family traveling. As the pilot in the family, I was supposed to just squeeze in an FAA flight review on this trip. Instead, I surprised my wife Alicia and her friend from Vinci with their first flying lessons. Two families surprised by one real-life flying experience. In less than an hour, my wife went from zero pilot knowledge to landing an airplane. Plus, as a private pilot, I flew with my wife and son as passengers for the first time ever. And the best part is that we filmed it all. Traveling from the Cayman Islands to do some fun flying in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now that's the short story. For the full story, stick around. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and you know what? Share this link with all your friends who love reggae and aviation fun. We're going for a ride. This is the gift of flight. Reggae Rocket by Zodi. Reggae Aviation Adventure. Our adventure begins on the Brack in the Cayman Islands. It's Thursday. We're checked in around 7:40 a.m. and our first flight is a 35-minute hop to Georgetown in Grand Cayman. We approach Grand Cayman from the east end, traveling along the north side of the island and around the North Sound. Welcome to Georgetown, Grand Cayman. We're actually nervous after discovering that one of our passports is about to expire in less than 48 hours, and we discovered that last night. Say hi. After some help from some good friends and from the Jamaican consulate in Georgetown, we're happy to be on our way and checked in.
That was close.
The next leg, Grand Cayman to Charlotte, North Carolina. 3.5 hours in the air is not fun.
Ouch.
Around 4:45 p.m. local time, we were in Charlotte.
What's going in the sky again?
Yes and no. Pizza break. After a 5-hour layover and having my shoes fall apart in the airport,
I was barefoot.
a little packaging tape saves my feet, and we're off again. Fayetteville is just 1 hour away now.
Why are we doing that?
The regional flight gets us into Fayetteville at around 11:34 p.m. local time, 17 hours after we first left home. Welcome to Fayetteville. Tomorrow, we look forward to a bright and sunny day to do a flight review and to explore the city. Friday morning, rain. Our flight review just isn't gonna happen in this weather, so change of plans. We'll round up the family and head to the U.S. Army Airborne and Special Operations Museum. A big question is, would the children at 4 and 5 years old actually enjoy a museum? Well, we're about to find out. In a sense, we're here to learn about soldiers who are ready to take over the skies with or without an airplane. Celebrating airborne infantry heroes and their moments in history. As we walk in, the lobby starts the exhibits with 2 life-size paratroopers flying overhead. The children are engaged as well, gripped by a video of airborne trooper hero Iron Mike.
Nice.
We're walking through exhibits spanning over 90 years. Army jeeps. A DC-3 flies overhead with airborne troopers ready to jump. An Italian aeromotor parascooter is ready to jump with them. Paratroopers and equipment from different eras. We walk through an airplane loaded with airborne soldiers. Around us, guns and even bigger guns. Life-size soldiers with skin that feels almost real to touch. There are weapons and battlefield displays all around us, like this World War II exhibit from the liberation of a French town on D-Day. This MG-42 machine gun is from Nazi Germany. But is our son really enjoying all of this? Yep. Well, it seems like he's having fun. The exhibits get more realistic and detailed as we go along. It's almost surreal. Next, we're surrounded by real sounds and imagery from the most extraordinary battles of World War II. Literally the biggest war in modern history. I look away for a second and come back to find my son gripped by another video showing war news and stories from 75 years before he was born. This glider could slip quietly into Nazi territory loaded with soldiers and equipment. These haven't been used in combat since 1951. If a 75mm howitzer rains on you, you'll be under the weather for a while. This exhibit from the Korean War had me wondering for a second. Was this all too violent? But for the kids, they took it all as just history, science, and learning. The next scene with a Huey helicopter, grenade launchers, and machine guns from the Vietnam War reminded me of the 1980s TV series Tour of Duty with the Beatles theme song. I've seen people turn their heads and quickly look away. A Vietnam prisoner of war exhibit.
Oh, this one is gonna be this one's gonna set him free.
And
This is a guard. This one is guarding him over here.
yeah, and if he sees that and the prisoner escapes, then he's gonna jump out and he's gonna run and capture him.
Sounds about right.
So they call them airborne soldiers because they only jump
Let's
on
go
the
see
cars.
what's over there.
We could fight. Yeah, they've never used that.
A tank and a rocket launcher. This tank was common in peacekeeping operations in Grenada, Panama, and the Persian Gulf. This propeller hub is from a helicopter shot down in Mogadishu, Somalia. This museum exhibit depicts the real-life battle that inspired the movie Black Hawk Down. A deadly AH-6 helicopter flies overhead, configured as used by special forces. Patrols in Iraq 2003, counterterrorism, and the search for weapons of mass destruction. In a shed, there's a real RPG launcher and artillery shells, and rugged tools from the Iraq wars.
Nice.
Next, a visit to the gift store. The kids got a dog and a doll, but this pen caught my interest. It's made from a real once-fired 50 caliber shell. A quick look at the text on the back answered any questions about whether I could travel back to Cayman or Jamaica with this. Nope, bad idea. By Jamaican law, this is a piece of a firearm. Next up, the simulator. We rode motorcycles and literally jumped out of an airplane. It shook the entire theater floor. If you're wondering why I didn't film it, well, the risk of losing my phone with all this footage just wasn't worth it. Nope. That's officially the end of the tour. But wait, in a building literally filled with guns, this sign stood out for me. No guns allowed. All the Vincy people and big up in the cell. Meet Jolene, or Vincy friend. St. Vincent. Jolene and Alicia met as RNs working in Cayman. This trip to Fayetteville is primarily to celebrate Jolene's birthday coming up on Monday. We wrap this rainy Friday with a little bit of shopping and the kids are out. Saturday morning. Welcome to Cape Fear Aviation at Grace Creek. The goal today is to get my first FAA flight review done. This is simply a competency check with a flight instructor, and it's needed if I want to fly with my family or to act as pilot in command at all. Today is also the day that I start testing out my camera angles and audio setup for YouTube. Importantly though, once we begin going through the pre-start checklist and are getting ready for takeoff, we're not allowed to adjust cameras or any non-essential gadgets. This is my version of the sterile cockpit rule. So now we do our pre-start checks. At some point, one of us bounces the overhead camera and messes up the framing, but sterile cockpit.
Alright, clear, bro.
The flight is safe. Let's go on. As we get ready to taxi, note that it's actually my first time taxiing an airplane on grass. Well, my first time taxiing on grass deliberately. We line up with the wind for some pre-takeoff checks, control checks, and an engine run-up. If we spot problems with the engine now, there'd be no flying today. But everything checks out. We do a quick 360-degree turn before entering the runway, just to ensure there's no traffic coming in from behind us. And then, let's go. This runway is narrow. That's going to cause me some anxiety on landing, but we'll deal with that later. Now it's time to have some fun. We head over to Horseshoe Lake, about 10 minutes away from Grace Creek. Go up to a safe altitude of about 4,500 feet, then practice different kinds of aerodynamic stalls. First, engine to idle for a power off stall. We also do a full power stall. Then a few steep turns, and then the instructor suddenly cuts engine power to idle. If I lost an engine in real life, would I be able to go through correct procedures and glide for an emergency landing, issuing mayday calls and notifying passengers and all that? For now, the answer is yes. This engine failure exercise is a success. Pushing the power, find some altitude. Coming back in for landing for runway 35 at Grace Creek, this is my first landing in almost a year. If those trees look a little close for comfort, that's because they are. Trees 75 feet tall make approaching Grace Creek from this end a bit difficult. Not bad though. We'll do a few more landings before wrapping up things for the day. My landings are fairly decent though, considering that I'm just getting back into flying and I've done less than 10 landings in the last 12 years. After about an hour in the air, the flight review was complete. I'm officially FAA legal to fly with my family on Monday, thanks to the instructor David and to Cape Fear Aviation. Today is a success. Monday is the birthday surprise for Jolene and the flying surprise for my wife Alicia. In the meantime, we all enjoy a bit of the Fayetteville community from Saturday night into Sunday morning. Today is the big day. For birthday flight, family flights, everything. Monday morning, IG shots galore. As they grab more photos and videos on the runway, I'm scanning the skies for traffic, just in case. Neither of these ladies have any idea that they're both about to get their first flying lessons. As of this moment, the story I've sold them is that today's adventure is just about maybe a little sightseeing, with me flying and them looking out the airplane window. But then, when we go into the office, "Stay there, Jolene. Happy birthday to you."
All right, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, you can hop in. There's no cool way to do it, so just however you can do it.
I know, right?
There you go.
Jolene has already made up her mind. She's going on IG Live for this.
See you later, Mama. Bye, sweetie. See you in a little bit.
All right,
Yet she still hasn't heard that she's going to be flying.
For you.
All right, there we go.
All right, man.
There's no stopping now.
No, you're committed.
We are committed. We're gonna fly. There's my daughter. This door is still open.
Yep, we'll get close for you.
That's Auntie Mary. This is our pilot.
Hello. Okay, so you are gonna fly a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna, just like in your car, you're gonna pull your seat up so you can reach those pedals right there. And it also gives your passenger behind you some room. You're doing the big hand. There you go. There's the big hand. It should click into place. Good. Yeah, and you'll hear us on the way back. Okay. All right. Next turn. Good. Clear. Come on, girl.
It's the first flight of the morning, and those clicks mean that the starter is a bit cold.
It's the starter. 1 second.
You don't mind just holding out. Yep.
Another pilot is here to help us to fix that the old-fashioned way.
What? Yep. Make sure it's full rich.
Courtney holds the brakes, while Stephen gives the propeller a good swing. now we're checking radios.
Can you talk in this? Say something.
I like dinosaurs.
Earlier this morning, when she first saw the tiny airplane, Jolene's daughter was scared. Now her sense of humor has fully chipped in. Let the fun begin. Pre-flight checks and engine run-up.
Ready to go flying.
The first thing that Jolene's IG fans would notice is that the views when flying a small airplane are immediately breathtaking. Our cameras really don't do any justice here. Now IG Live's gonna have to wait a bit though. It's time for Jolene to join the 1% club. There are millions of people on Instagram, but very few people ever get to fly an airplane. Flying an airplane is simple, yet challenging and empowering. It sets your spirit on fire. At the same time, it's a constant battle because you love the flying experience, but you also love the views, and you always want to take out your phone to capture each moment. We head back into Grace Creek as Stephen wraps up this birthday flight lesson with a decent landing. Jolene is a registered nurse specializing in nephrology and dialysis. Alicia is also an RN specializing in midwifery. Make no joke about it, as frontline workers, the pandemic gave them both a run for their money. A Discovery flight is a fitting treat.
I will never forget this.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yep. That was cool, right? And you see, he got you back safely. It's my birthday, and I'm about to take off. I'm gonna film today on my 37th birthday. Hello, ma'am. How are you? I am well. I was just given my certificate. Hello. It's my first time, right? It went so easy.
Ready? That's your friend? Cool.
Alright, first flight down. Let's see who is flying next.
He's ready to go. Alright, he's ready to get some flight time.
Guess who's gonna fly? Mommy's gonna fly.
As soon as Jolene wraps up her flight, I buckle myself and our son into the back seat and break the news to Alicia.
So,
Nope.
His life is in your hands now. Gonna come back a little bit, bud.
My wife just discovered that it's her turn to be the student pilot. And I can't say that we mind being chauffeur driven. We're taking our family and our relationship to a whole new level today. Flight levels.
Good?
Yep.
let's see if it cramps.
The plane starts on its own this time. Cameras up. Now, bear in mind that before today, Alicia has never even read a book about flying. She's probably thinking, what the heck am I doing here? Tarek had better plan this thing out right or we're all doomed. While the instructor is doing our pre-flight checks, I finished setting up our headset audio. You're going to be able to hear Steven's instructions and experience this flying lesson with us.
Reservation traffic, Cessna 76016, departing 35 Grace Creek. Before our next flight, I want to put a little bit of fuel in. Okay, all you. Okay, so left hand on the yoke. There you go. And then I'll guard the throttle for today, okay? And then what's going to happen is you feel the feet. You see what my feet are doing? It turns the plane left and right on the ground. Okay? So how we stay center line is we use our feet. Both, yep. And then once we're off our ground, We're not really using the feet as much anymore. We're using the yoke. Yes, correct. Okay. So we're going to slowly start to advance the throttle here. Airspeed's coming up. Okay, slowly start pulling back on the yoke. You got it. You're doing great. You're doing great. We're off the ground. Pushing those down a little bit. Good job. You're flying. Doing great. There you go. So now how we decide how high we need to pitch the plane, right? So that goes off of our airspeed. So this is the airspeed just like in your car. Same exact concept, okay? So we want to try to keep the plane at 70 for the climb, okay? So if we want to go slower, we let the nose pitch up more. If we want it to go faster, we push the nose down. Okay? There you go. Alright, so nice little turn. Good job. Grace Street traffic, Cessna 76016 is left crosswind 35 Grace Creek. And then now it's just like a car. Now we're just, so if we want to turn the car, we turn it to the right, we go to the right, we turn to the left, we turn to the left.
Okay.
Same concept. Okay, now we're going to do just a nice easy turn here. Right about here is as much of a turn as you need in the plane. There you go. Now we're going to straighten the wings. So we're going to bring the yoke, yep, right about here. Then we're going to look outside. So all the flying that you learn, 90% of all flying is outside. Okay? So because you can tell me right now, just by looking at the horizon, if we're climbing, right, we lose the horizon, right?
Yeah, so
if we're descending, we see more of the ground.
Right.
All right. Okay, now we're going to do a nice little turn to the left here. Perfect. And hold that right there. Good job.
Hold it.
Christian traffic says 76016 is crossing midfield west to east for a southbound departure at Grace Creek. Good job. All right. So now when we're trying to do straight and level flight, we got to find a happy medium between the horizon, the ground, and the sky. Okay? So once we get to where we can kind of see a 50-50 off, you see the windscreen here? If you can see a 50-50 of the ground and the sky, you're pretty level. Okay, perfect. There you go. All you. So now I want you to see that lake out there, that big lake. That's where we're going to go. So give me a nice turn to the right. There you go. Nice and easy. Perfect. So we're going to go head out to that big lake out there, okay? So another thing that people teach is you put 3 fingers on the dashboard here, and your index finger should intercept that horizon. If it does that, you're straight and level. So the cool thing with these planes is if you let off the yoke completely, yeah, go ahead. You can let off. There, look. Plane's still flying. Still flying. Pretty cool, right? Same thing with the turn in these planes. If you turn the plane to the right, just like this, a nice easy bank, and you let off the yoke, she'll continue the turn. That's the cool thing with these trainer aircraft is they're very easy forgiving. So the number one thing that hinders people when they first start flying is we call it white knuckling. Okay. So if you're very
Hold it too tight.
they hold it too tight, right? So and often that comes with anxiety and fear and stuff like that, right? So what I teach people is try to fly the plane like you're holding a martini glass. So nice and light. There you go. Let the plane fly. Let the plane fly. There you go. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on getting the plane to climb again. So we're gonna add full power here, and then let that nose come up a little bit to where we just barely lose the horizon. When we're first teaching students, the number one thing that we're trying to teach them is be able to manage the plane. Manage the plane. The plane is not flying you. You're flying the plane, right? So you get the plane set up to how you want the plane to fly. As a private pilot, just learning, 90% of everything you're flying is outside the cockpit. All right, so give me a nice little turn to the right. This is our South Practice Lake. This is where we teach everybody to fly, is right over this lake. Your traffic, Cessna 76016 over Practice Lake, 2,000 feet maneuvering Grace Creek. So the cool thing with flying is if you decide, hey, I want to turn left, turn left. That's the cool thing is the freedom. The freedom of flying to be able to do whatever you want to do within reason, obviously. So here's the Horseshoe Lake. This is Horseshoe Lake right here.
Yeah.
And obviously it looks like a horseshoe. It's really cool when it's actually filled up because it legit looks like a horseshoe. And then out here, this is all solar panels, solar farm. This whole area right here. Kind of looks like another lake almost. Those are all solar panels.
What's our next point of reference?
Whatever you want it to be. That's the cool thing with flying. So pick something out there and fly to it. There's not a lot of rules up here like when you're in your car. They tell you what speed to go, you know, how fast you can drive, you know. But if you wanted to turn left and go turn left, and we turn left. All right, so out on the nose. So do you see way out there on the nose? So that's Fayetteville Regional. That's the big airport that's 5 miles north of us.
Okay.
And we're gonna head over there the next one. Yeah, next flight. It's really not. It's like you're driving a car in the air, that's all.
I know.
Kinda. I mean, honestly, the hardest part about flying for a lot of people at first is straight and level and learning how to land the plane. The cool thing with flying is only 1% of the people get to see this in small airplanes. There's 1% gets to see a view like this. It's different when you're on a commercial airline because you typically don't stay this high for long. All right, so you learned how to climb. Now we gotta learn how to descend. Okay. All right. So everything's opposite. Now we're gonna see more ground than we do sky. Okay. So I'm gonna bring the power back a little bit. Power's gonna come back. You'll feel the engine kind of wind down a little bit. There it goes. And then we're gonna start to slowly see that the plane's gonna start giving us more ground than it is the sky. So it's kind of hard to see right now, but the airport is right off to our right. Okay. You kind of see it. It's got big buildings off to the left. Cruise traffic says 76016, 6 miles southeast of the field, 2,000 feet inbound Ridge Creek. You want to try to land it? Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, of course you can. That's why I'm in this. That's why I'm in this seat. I'm in this seat to protect all you guys. So if you now with that, when we try to land it, if I say my controls, you just let off feet and hands, everything. Okay?
Gotcha. You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Sightseeing.
Okay.
But when I tell you a little bit of back pressure is about this much.
Okay.
Okay? And then if I tell you a little bit more, it's very subtle. Because we don't want to scare everybody in the back. Because if you jerk it back, then that's going to scare people. There you go. Nice and light. Perfect. Okay, let the nose come down a little bit for me. Great. All right. So if you look out there, do you see the runway? Look out to your left. See the runway? All right.
Yeah.
Just keep that nose kind of pointed right at the runway for me, okay? Let the nose come down a little bit more. Perfect. Good job. All right, you ready? You're about to have your action here. Here we go. We're going to transition. Hold the nose up off the ground. Okay, wait for it. A little bit too much. There you go. You're okay. You're okay. Now, nice little bit of pullback. Hold it there. Hold it there. Hold it there. Hold it there. Woo! No hands! You just landed your first airplane. It's intense, right? You did great. You did great. All right, so we're gonna park a little bit differently now. I need to put some fuel in the plane before we do our next flight, okay?
Alicia, come wave to the camera.
No, I'm flying the plane. Hi.
Hi.
There you go. You passed your distractions. See, that's the number one thing. That's what gets pilots in trouble is distractions. We're gonna go, to these little this fuel pump over here. Just gonna put a little bit of fuel in it so we can go on our next one.
Looking out at those hangars, I just wish this was Jamaica. That somewhere in the Jamaican countryside we could have our own airplanes and that young people could learn about flying this easily. We have a long way to go, but it's still possible.
All right, good job.
We're at the gas station.
Next up is an experience that I've been personally looking forward to since the moment my son was born. Longer than that if you count the ultrasounds.
Adam, what's your finger? What's your finger, Adam?
Today, with my wife and son on board, for the first time in recorded history, I'm the pilot in command for a Kidoo family flight, my family. To be honest, he's so tired right now that we're conflicted. Should we have just scrapped this last flight? Will pushing this last symbolic flight today cause him to hate flying in the long run?
British traffic says 76016.
We'll roll the dice.
Go for it.
My son, he's in the back, half asleep, half awake, half excited. Would a quick scenic tour wake him up fully? We're about to find out.
Crossing midfield, west to east for eastbound departure, last call, Ridge Creek. Good afternoon, Fayetteville, approach Cessna 76016 with request.
Cessna 76016, Fayetteville, approach, say request.
Cessna 76016, we're Charlie 172 Golf, just over Grace Creek at 1,200 feet, and requesting a scenic flight over Fayetteville if possible.
Cessna 76016, maintain VFR at or above 2,500.
Alright, at or above 2,500 VFR, Cessna 76016. 2,500, please. I try to make it as smooth as possible for him in the back. He's probably going to be lights out here in about 5 minutes.
Oh, he's out now.
He's on.
Yeah, and you see the thing is, I was his age, right? You let him out the plane,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be upset that you let him out the plane and that he didn't stay.
Gotcha, yeah,
And that will be the memory.
I got, yeah,
And then I
I got you.
prefer he hates me for keeping him in the plane, and he said, oh, but that was actually cool.
So I got to ask, what brought you to Fayetteville?
Oh, so Jolene works here now.
Okay.
She used to be in Cayman.
Gotcha. I got you. So she's here now?
Yes. So it's our first time coming to this area.
Gotcha, man.
My habit, the habit that I'm introducing to her,
Right,
anywhere
yeah.
I go, I try to find a flight school to get at least a discovery flight.
Yeah, of
I've
course.
done flying several countries in the Caribbean.
Yep.
Flight school, flying club, do a half hour. It's a great way to do sightseeing, but it's also you can put it in a logbook.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And those hours never expire, you know that. They never go away. So this is the whole city right here, the whole city of Fayetteville.
993, entering controlled airspace, fly heading a 050,
Alicia, hearing that?
maintain.
Getting a better view of Fayetteville now than we had a chance to underground.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it.
Alicia,
There's nothing like it.
and I tell you, people don't understand that you being in a plane, commercial airliner, you don't see this.
No, you don't.
It's not a part of what you get to see.
You don't. That's what I was telling
Just
Jolene.
imagine.
1% get to see it.
Adam, look at the people outside. Look at the cars. Look at the cars, the little cars outside. When I was your age, I got to see all of that. The little cars, the people driving around.
3035 Delta, now.
There we go.
Runway 4.
There he goes. There we
The
go.
perspective that it gives you as a child.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Once he looked out and
That's
he saw
it.
that
That's
look, saw that look on his face. We're at 3,000 now.
Yeah, that's
Let me
fine.
go. Let me
Three's
go.
fine.
Let me go 2.5 because that's
fine.
the best view.
Yeah, that's fine. So we can just do a slight turn to the right. Okay. And this right here, so there's two military bases. There's Fort Bragg and Pope Simmons. Off to our left here, when we fly back over, this is Simmons. This is where all the helicopters stay. So you'll see there's probably 30 or 40 of them out there right now. Yeah. So we can fly off to the left so they can see it as well. Perfect, man. And then Fayetteville's way out there to the right, that big open field. Good afternoon, Fayetteville Tower. Cessna 76016, right base 22 with Foxtrot.
Cessna 76016, Fayetteville Tower, wind 180 at 6 runway 22 with the option.
Clear for the option. This will be one touch and go, ma'am, and then we'll be headed to 2 Golf Charlie.
Cessna 016 Saturday.
All right, bud. All you, man. Not gonna pressure you, but your wife had a pretty good landing. So, all right. I am, but I'm not. All right.
Yeah. Pressure.
Figured I'd add a little bit to it.
Clear land, and we'll turn base to follow that traffic, 712.
Looking good.
One of the most beautiful things about being a parent is that you get to plant a seed, and you never know where that seed will grow. It's all about perspective, being able to slowly watch the cars below, the tiny helicopters, and the wider world happening around us. I remember being awestruck by this as a child, almost overwhelmed. My father was a private pilot too. He earned that gift through the Cadet Corps shortly after graduating high school. Fortis Adere Segre Non Potest.
Full power, let's go. Just a little too high on transition. That's all. You're good.
To me, that landing was okay, but no finesse.
Rotate.
You know what I mean when I say no finesse? I can do better. I know I can do better.
Zone navigation to Grace Creek.
Zuma navigation to Grace Creek, 016, thank you. You did fine. We just transitioned a little too high as well. Still a good landing. But every landing can be better, you know that.
Didn't shake any babies around there.
Well, that's a success. If he stayed asleep the whole time. Grace traffic says 76016 is 4 miles north of the field inbound, Grace Creek. If I don't say anything, you know you're doing good.
One more landing coming up,
Grace traffic says 76016, final.
and we're aiming for finesse.
I think the biggest challenge for this runway for me is that most of the runways that I've landed are 10 times wider.
Yeah, man.
So you don't have to work
just
hard to
remember
be
that.
on the white line.
Yeah, just remember that that center line should intersect your inner right leg,
Exactly.
okay?
Have it.
Okay.
One more chance to get it right.
Power idle. There you go. Just clear. Nice. Hold it there, man. Hold it. Hold it. Nice job. There you go. That was a good one.
Yeah,
That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, good job.
So hold on. Are the passengers not saying anything?
No, it's quiet.
Passengers?
We're good.
No, I think, come on, man. Come on, get a landing like that. Nothing, no applause, no nothing. No nothing.
It was better than the one before.
Alright, we'll go to the last arrow and then just a nice easy turn off. A little bit of brake. There you go.
And sometimes that is as close as you get to finesse.
Great Street traffic says 76016, clear 17 Great Street. Bring it back. Yeah, right here, yeah. We'll just line up right at the brown hangar. Yep.
This gift of flight is something that my father enjoyed sharing with friends and family and anyone who was brave enough to fly with him. It's something that I later received from him. Throughout life, I've looked forward to sharing more of this gift as often as life itself allows. The gift of flight. We never know where that seed will grow. And just like that, our visit to Fayetteville was over. A trip that almost didn't happen became this sweet, once-in-a-lifetime family experience. We were checked in at around 4:26 a.m. Around 5:34, we rolled down the runway.
What is that glowing thing in the sky? That glowing thing in the sky is moving.
It is?
It's like a plane.
Some nights, just before bedtime, my son and I would use an app on my phone to check for airplanes flying overhead. Together, we'd look up into the starry night sky to find those red and green dots flying at 35,000 feet above. Here, on a runway in Fayetteville, he gets to immerse himself in that world. We'll be the ones flying through the night sky. Perspective. We arrived in Charlotte a little less than an hour later. We picked up some breakfast with light rain pouring around us. At around 10 minutes past 10, we took off again as we said goodbye to North Carolina and goodbye to our friends in the United States of America. The gift of flight. I'm a Jamaican, a private pilot and an entrepreneur. Reggae Rocket brings my story together. Reggae, aviation, adventure.